Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the ThePackHub's Sustainable Packaging Innovations webinar. My name is Paul Jenkins, Managing Director of ThePackHub, and I'm joined today by Barrington Pamplin, our Technical Director. So, what will we cover over the next 45 minutes or so? First of all, we'll a brief introduction on the ThePackHub and our Innovation Zone packaging database. A then short overview of the latest sustainable packaging trends. We'll then hone in on 20 new sustainable packaging innovations. And at the end of that, there'll be an opportunity to ask any questions. And then we'll have details of our next event. You'll get a link to this webinar recording post-event. We've got about 5 or 6 webinars booked for 2021. And you can find out, and you can also watch them all at youtube.com/ThePackHub. But as part of the outputs from this this recording, we will also let you know when the next events are as well, so you can book them via the email. So a little bit about the ThePackHub, leading UK packaging innovation consultancy. 4 main areas of support. We do technical support and project management. We do events where permissible. Obviously 2020 has been an awful year in terms of disruption, but we hope to be back with face-to-face events in 2021. Of course, we've migrated nicely to webinars. We also do reports. So we launched a refillable and reusable packaging compendium a couple of months ago, and we've got another report coming out on global packaging trends in January. And last but not least is our Innovation Zone packaging database. This is a searchable and easy to use innovation database with over 4,400 packaging initiatives. We upload 20 new innovations every week from around the world. We track innovations across 15 different languages, from concept, so university type developments, to in-market launches that you might see on a supermarket shelf. Very much a global view, and a great way to keep teams up to speed and inspire and create ideas. Number of leading brands, retailers and packaging suppliers have already benefiting from membership. And we've just recently invested a lot more time and resource in increasing the output. So we've now increased the number of innovations by 50%. So now onto the sustainable packaging trends. This is similar to the innovations that we've previously, the areas that we've previously reported on. So the 7 sustainable clusters that we've segmented are as follows: compostable and biodegradable. Seen a lot of innovations in this area over the last 3 years. Biomaterials, lots of different types of products are being developed, things like tomato fibre, whey, banana, stem, shrimp, bamboo, pasta waste, sugarcane, mushroom tissue, coffee waste, etc. Lots of university developments, not necessarily in market, but certainly lots of developments going on there. Recycling has clearly been a big area of development. Most of the brands, retailers, and many of the major packaging suppliers are all working to a plastic pact, which focuses on recycling as well as reusability and compostability, with a deadline which is ever looming in 2025. So consequently, we're seeing a lot of recycling initiatives, coupled with the pending plastic tax legislation that will encourage the use of recycled content in packaging. And certainly it's been a year for reusable packaging, despite all the disruption that we've had in the market. We've seen a significant increase in the number of initiatives that we're tracking in our innovation zone. I think it's something like 68% year on year, admittedly from a small base. But this is an area where both big and small companies are operating. So most of the major retailers are trialing reusable systems in store, and most of the major brand owners are also trialing various different systems in their processes. Three other sustainable areas of consideration. Carbon concern. So this is about reducing packaging's carbon footprint. Traditionally, this has been done really through lightweighting initiatives, but obviously has sort of cost saving as well as environmental benefits. Packaging weight really is a proxy for quality. So this is quite a difficult dynamic to get right. Certainly, if reducing the pack weight too much can imply a certain lack of quality potentially. But we're certainly seeing a lot more initiatives in this area as companies are starting to recognise the graphic impact of carbon, the carbon impact on global warming and climate change. Reducing waste. So this is reducing or eliminating. This is about improving product shelf life. So we're seeing a few initiatives in that area. And last but by no means least is plastic elimination or reduction, which has really been a significant area of development really since the Blue Planet 2 programme in November 2017, where plastic almost overnight became a target for change, and really that hasn't really modified. It's continuing. We're continuing to see a number of different initiatives that aim to replace plastic in the supply chain, or at least reduce its impact. And sometimes this goes against the carbon footprint objectives that is also on this slide. For example, if you're moving from plastic into glass, there are potentially carbon footprint impacts for that change. Now, we've been running with these 7 trend areas for a while now, and it's certainly in need of a review and revision. So as part of our Global Packaging Trends Compendium, which we're launching on Friday the 22nd of January, we will be launching 10 new packaging trends areas, which will obviously include a significant contribution from sustainable packaging initiatives. So an opportunity to find out what those trends are would be to get involved in our compendium, which is out next month. So over to the 20 sustainable packaging innovations that we've recently collated on our Innovation Zone database that we think you should know about. As always, this isn't an endorsement of best practice. It's important, we believe, to reflect what is going on. The ThePackHub is material agnostic, so we're not pro one particular method over another. We're merely reflecting what's going on in the market. So some will have more of an environmental impact than others, and to some extent sustainability in packaging is subjective. Where we know about LCAs and other validations, we will report on that, but we do water down any obvious areas of greenwashing, like statements such as 100% sustainable, which is obviously a ridiculous thing to say. So the first up is, you may have seen this in the news recently, it created quite a bit of interest. This is a UK biotech startup called Torafine, which is developing what is claimed to be the world's first truly biodegradable, compostable and commercially viable alternative to plastic. Quite a claim. The new packaging material will compost naturally and biodegrade without any human intervention, even in ocean water. The end of life for existing biodegradable products can be complicated, as you know, often relying on commercial composting facilities that, again, use energy to heat the compost, as well as logistical considerations to think about. The main point of difference with this Torafine solution is that the biopolymers are combined with graphene. Now, graphene was first isolated back in 2004 and has been successfully introduced within industries such as electronics and automotive, and of course packaging. In our Innovation Zone, I think we've got probably 10 to 15 examples of graphene being used in various different applications. The addition of graphene means that Torafine is stronger, thinner and less permeable than other biodegradable alternatives to help improve both food safety and shelf life. Torrefene can be optimized to mostly produce CO2 along with mulch that can be used to fortify topsoil. It's patented in the UK, the EU and the US, and they're in discussions with major brands, retailers and packaging suppliers. So watch this space on that one. Second up, Tesco, been very active in sustainable packaging initiatives, certainly over the last 12 months or so. And they set themselves an additional target over the Plastic Pact to permanently remove 1 billion pieces of plastic by the end of this year. The last number I saw was that they'd removed nearly 800 million pieces so far. So with 3 weeks to go, fingers crossed that they can get over the line with that extra mere 200 million pieces. The UK's largest retailer was the recent recipient of the Sustainable Retailer of the Year award at the Packaging Innovations show, which I know was a new award. And they're to phase out plastic trays and films from its whole chicken packaging range. The supermarket will remove the tray and film from 16 million of its own brand medium, large and extra large chickens and will replace them with just a single bag. So this is very much about the plastic reduction part of the trends that I mentioned earlier. Tesco said the move will reduce the overall weight of plastics used for its whole fresh chickens by 30%. The new packaging also has functional benefits as it is seen as being easier to transfer the bird into a roasting tray without having to handle the chicken, making it more hygienic for their customers. Tesco have trialled the new packaging at their test store at Bar Hill in Cambridgeshire in the UK. Next up, family-owned Belgian hygiene products manufacturer Drylock Technologies has announced the launch of paper-based nappy or diaper packaging, depending on what part of the world you're from. It depends on what you would call that. The business is responding again to demand from both their retail customers as well as their consumers for more what is seen as more sustainable packaging and coming up with a recyclable paper-based product that seems to tick that box. The Drylock business has a packaging mantra of paper where possible, plastic where needed. So they're not writing off plastic in its entirety, but where they can use paper, then they will. The switch from a plastic wrap will be launched across European retailers. The new packaging is reported to be 100% recyclable as well as biodegradable because it's paper. The new paper packaging has the same quality and functional attributes and is robust to protect the integrity of the Drylock baby care products inside. Drylock, along with its packaging partners, dedicated apparently a year of R&D into this solution. It is being touted as the first successful introduction of the paper packaging for baby diapers, although we have seen the switch in other sectors, and you may have seen quite a few examples in the market, such as toilet rolls moving from plastic to paper-based wrappings. Next up is German multinational personal care products giant Beiersdorf, and they've announced an exciting new innovation for their Nivea body lotion that makes dispensing much easier for consumers. The solution rolls up like a tube of toothpaste to make it straightforward for users to evacuate the contents easily, as well as reduce the likelihood of residual product being inadvertently thrown away. I guess that's another sustainable side objective that by using more of the contents, that obviously has environmental benefits. The new Nivea Naturally Good Baby Lotion design incorporates a bottle and cap that is reported to use 50% less plastic than the solution it replaces. So it's offering an additional functional benefit as well as an environmental one. The completely recyclable body lotion packaging design is a breakthrough, with the new bottle, or is it a tube, being very thin and has a specially shaped base to make it easy for consumers to squeeze and roll. The thinner and lighter packaging has supply chain advantages as it helps to optimize palletization, reduce transportation costs, as well as obviously lowering carbon footprint impact as a consequence. The bottle is also made from 90% recycled content. Now, Mars Wrigley in France has committed to rather stretching targets to reduce waste with an objective to ensure that all its plastic packaging is reusable, recyclable, compostable by 2025, very much in line with most other major brands and retailers. The group's ambition is to combine an average of 30% of recycled plastic material, as well as to reduce the use of virgin plastic by 25%. So Mars Wrigley has an ongoing European-based plan to test various alternative and sustainable packaging solutions. It has introduced a new sustainable solution for the French market, which sees their M&M Choco brand now presented in recyclable packaging. The new 300-gram pouch is part of Project Hero, which is their name for their initiative, and is the first pilot project to be launched for the European market. They are testing the new material in select Carrefour stores in France, and is designed to be recyclable according to local French packaging waste collection and sorting systems in place. The new monomaterial pack is made of PE and replaces a multi-layer pack comprising of PE and PP, sorry, too many P's. They have transformed the mono pouch to be more sustainable without apparently compromising quality and obviously food safety. The new pouch will be available for 8 months via 2 retailers in France, where then Mars Wrigley will determine the most viable options to continue in its various markets. Now, KFC Canada is tackling the challenge of single-use plastic waste with the testing of compostable cutlery made from bamboo and sugarcane. It is anticipated that the new cutlery design will eliminate 40 million pieces of plastic every year if rolled out nationally. Select KFC Canada restaurants will pilot the new fibre-based spork, as it is known, which combines a fork and a spoon into one and is made from a combination of bamboo, corn and sugarcane. It is reported to be compostable at room temperature and will break down naturally into biomass, carbon dioxide and water with no toxic byproducts. The process requires no additional treatment and takes up to 18 months to decompose. Earlier this year, KFC announced that by the end of 2021, it will remove 12 billion plastic Putan boxes from its operations with a switch to a bamboo-based equivalent, which we featured in our innovation zone earlier this year. I mean, an interesting challenge with this in terms of communication is obviously because it's compostable and it's for the takeaway market, people may misread that as they have permission to discard of it inappropriately and throw it in the bush and it will eventually go away. And of course, that is not the right thing for the environment. So it'll be interesting to see what messaging, if any, that KFC embark on to ensure that consumers dispose of the spork in the correct manner. Tesco up again. Obviously, if they're going to remove 1 billion pieces of plastic, yeah, doing a lot of work. So this is another example of a plastic reduction strategy. It is now implemented a revision of its own label cheese packaging that will save 260 tonnes of plastic annually. The saving has been equated to 20 double-decker buses and reduces plastic packaging on their own brand hard cheeses by up to 41%. The switch from the familiar square block shape to an oblong packaging shape also sees the removal of the resealable zip. The larger pack format is reduced from 460 grams to 400 grams, and the 200 gram pack is also undergoing the change, but will remain at the same weight. The price per kilo of the cheeses will not change. Nearly 40 lines of Tesco's own brand hard cheeses are part of the reformatted process. Tesco is also discontinuing the plastic trays in which these cheeses are delivered to be replaced by a cardboard shelf-ready secondary packaging format. So interesting, what is most interesting here from my humble point of view is that obviously you've got a pack that is significantly smaller on shelf, so potentially shelf impact is reduced. but you're also losing quite an important piece of pack functionality in terms of the zip. So I noticed recently that Aldi have also gone down this route by replacing or removing the resealability of their own label cheese brands. So is this the new frontier, removing added value functionality to make sure that plastic packaging can be further reduced? So be watching that with interest. Pladis own McVitie's is the UK's best-selling biscuit brand, and it is taking a leadership position with a repackaging change for its McVitie's Victoria biscuits assortment in a bid to improve its sustainability credentials in time for the Christmas season. The new packaging sees the traditional black plastic tray normally used for this format exchanged for a fully recyclable cloudy plastic alternative. The change is reported to save more than 60 tonnes of unrecyclable plastic every year. The cardboard outer has also been downsized, saving a further 129 tonnes of card annually. It comes alongside a new modern redesign for the Victoria selection boxes of chocolate biscuits. In addition to removing packaging for the McVitie's Victoria, the brand is increasing the number of biscuits in their 550 gram box to reduce the product per gram of packaging ratio. And this is quite a change, because in the vast majority of pack changes that we're noting, often the content also reduces with the pack size. So this is quite refreshing that they're actually increasing the content. Pladis has added a less packaging, more biscuits, roundel, flash, to promote the change and to also reassure shoppers that a reduction in packaging doesn't mean less content. And this will help to reassure shoppers that the box footprint is comparable with other packs on the market. I actually went into a store to see this pack compared with others, and although they've downsized the 129 tonnes of card pro rata annually, the box looked pretty similar in size to the others. So they've done quite a magical structural engineering feat to reduce the card content in the packaging without seemingly being undermined in terms of the size of that compared to other designs. Well done, Pladis. Now, the L'Oreal of the Future strategy drafts an assortment of sustainability commitments. L'Oreal is working hard on those targets to achieve by 2030. Their Garnier brand is moving forward with the announcement of the introduction of shampoo bars with reduced environmental impact. It's interesting, isn't it, that a lot of these sustainable initiatives are really a throwback from a time of yesteryear. The reusable packaging is another good example, where obviously before everybody was used to get their milk delivered in effectively reusable milk bottles, and now we're seeing a resurgence in reusable packaging. And here is an example where sort of bars of soap and shampoo and body washes are coming into the market. The company spent 18 months evaluating more than 60 formulas to find the most sustainable solution, and they actually support this with a life cycle analysis, an LCA, that informs us that the new solution delivers a 25% reduction in impact compared to liquid shampoos. Obviously, one of those factors is that you're not transporting water throughout the supply chain, which obviously has an impact on the size of the packaging and the weight of it as well. The range of shampoo bars is packed in 100% recyclable FSC certified cardboard, and the Ultimate Blends shampoo bars are available first in Boots in the UK and will be rolled out to other retail stores in due course. The products are reported to use 80% less packaging, as well as 70% less fossil fuel achieved through transportation savings compared to the conventional shampoo bottle. L'Oreal claims that one solid shampoo bar can last 2 months and save up to 1 bottle of water per wash. Now, another notable part of this packaging, which we noted, which we can't find a picture of to show you, is that the back of the pack has a small circle punched out, so it allows consumers to smell what the shampoo, the aroma of the shampoo, which I thought was quite a nice and simple innovation. Is the equivalent of opening the shampoo cap to smell the contents. But obviously there's no tamper issues with a small hole on the back of the pack. Next up, Belgrade, Serbia-based startup Soma Bioworks has developed an answer to the replacement of styrofoam with a natural fungi-based material. The business has come up with a new material that they've called biosporin and is reported to have many potential applications as a replacement for polystyrene. Soma Bioworks has been producing fungi-based health supplements and discovered that a byproduct from the manufacturing process could be turned into a material with the same properties as expanded polystyrene. They are using agricultural waste and a biological organism to create the new material. Through treating the product differently, it's possible to control the properties such as hardness, smoothness, and shock absorption of the final product, allowing it to be utilized in a wide range of applications. It is classed as non-combustible. Biosporin can be used as a partial organic fertilizer as it releases salts when it biodegrades, apparently, which can enrich the soil. The use of 1 ton of biosporins sees a decrease of nearly 10 tons of CO2. Soma Bioworks is concentrating on pilot programs with partners as well as continuing viability studies for other applications. Next up, we have an innovation from Sure Flexible Group, who you may be aware of, have 22 production sites across Europe. The business has been busy expanding their monoflow RE film, this time for southern Germany-based retailer Fenneberg. The change achieves significant material savings. They're using packaging for its self-service minced meat products. By switching from tray to flow wrap, a plastic reduction of 70% has been achieved. The reduction in the amount of plastic used has consequently led to a significant decrease in transport volume for the packaging material. Monoflow RE PXC is not only a mouthful, it is a highly transparent, fully recyclable, high barrier PP flow wrap film. Machine supplier Ulmer Packaging has helped implement the change. The conversion to flow wrap has contributed to 35,700 kilograms of less plastic being used each year. They also have done some analysis on their supply chain and have calculated that previously 100 trucks have been used to deliver the tray packaging material compared to the equivalent of just 7 with the new film. That obviously has cost as well as environmental benefits. The next step is anticipated to offer all the other meat products in this packaging format for that retail chain. So monoflow RE PXC is ideal for sensitive products such as fresh meat, as we've seen here, but also cheese and fresh pasta. Now, with COVID-19 being the story of the year, inevitably we've seen not only initiatives that try and combat hygiene challenges, but also new initiatives that look to help with the distribution of the recently launched vaccines. So Vericool are the inventors of the world's first recyclable biodegradable cooler, and we've previously featured them in the Innovation Zone. And the business has adapted their expertise to develop a sustainable thermal solution for shipping COVID-19 vaccines. The initiative is both recyclable and compostable. The shipping solution will eliminate the potential need for millions of unrecyclable EPS coolers at the start of the global rollout of vaccines as it commences. A solution has been designed that can quickly be brought to the marketplace, so they've acted very quickly on this. The new vaccine shipping container has passed all their internal testing, and they're finalising third-party assessment, and they're hoping that shipping can be start as early as next month. The high-performance shippers will maintain temperatures of -20 degrees or greater for a duration of up to 96 hours. The ready-to-go shippers are available in 2 sizes and made in the US. Now, I mentioned reusable packaging. I think this is our first proper example, which is unusual considering we've had so many over the last few months or so. Reusable packaging continues to grow, but sometimes, often really, comes at a price to convenience. This has led to a development of several solutions that aims to reduce the impact of carrying reusable packs, transporting them from A to B, and when not in use. So in this case, a coffee mug has been introduced that collapses to the height of just 2 centimetres, making it easy to transport when not in use. It is called the Hanu Cup, and it has a 265 ml capacity. The collapsed disc can easily fit into a pocket or a small purse and bag, and is so compact that it qualifies as a letter when mailed in the UK. So it has an additional benefit of being e-commerce friendly for purchases made online. The cup is held together by a broad elastic band, which doubles to give heat protection when the cup is being used. There is a plug that slots into the sipping hole to prevent leakages when the cup is not in use. It's made from BPA-free food-grade silicone, and the hard plastic lid is bamboo-based. The cup is dishwasher safe and suitable for use in both the microwave and the freezer. No news on the recyclability of this solution. A further sort of additional requirement really for reusable packaging is not to forget the end of life scenarios for the packaging when they do reach their useful life. It's available in a range of colours and retails for what I think is quite an eye-watering £18. That's about $22 US, so not cheap. Okay, probably got about another 5 or 6 innovations to go. This is from FFP Packaging Solutions, who have partnered with JDM Food Group to introduce a new recyclable solution. JDM supply a high volume of their sauces, dresses, purees and marinades in sachets. The business has been, up until now, has been using unrecyclable PET, PE mixed polymer material combinations for their hot and cold fill applications. JDM obviously wanted to move their sachets into a no-compromising UK recyclable material that would also be suitable for the demands of the hot fill process. A minimum temperature of 75 degrees was part of the specification, as well as running at speeds of their current film lines. Due to the acidity of many of the products, the material also needed to have high barrier to avoid the risk of delamination. FFP's all PE laminate was supplied with an EVOH barrier. The sachets can be recycled with carrier bags at supermarkets. The solution can be supplied with or without print and will run efficiently on existing lines without the need for any major modification. The resulting all PE sachets are now available in most UK retailers, and they're 100% recyclable through current recycling streams. So the only caveat to that is obviously it's not necessarily curbside recyclable, and I'm not aware of how much carrier bag recycling goes on in supermarkets, but it won't be as good as curbside. So not 100% ideal scenario, but definitely an improvement on the marketing and selling of non-recyclable packaging. Now, toothpaste tubes, the tube format have been around a while and have been a godsend in terms of functionality and convenience, but are largely not recyclable. And the millions that are made every year and not recycled is quite eye-watering. And so Procter & Gamble is tackling this head-on. The multinational consumer goods business has announced the start of a major material switch for their leading toothpaste brands. So that's Crest, Oral-B, and Blender Med brands. They're changing to recyclable HDPE tubes. The whole exercise apparently will take 4 years to implement in time for the 2025 objectives that most brands are working towards. And the change will be across all US and European markets. The company is in discussion with several HDPE tube suppliers and has already reached an agreement with really the largest supplier of beauty and personal care packaging, Albia. And so P&G will start using the Albia's proprietary Greenleaf Generation 2 tube technology. Anyone that's watched our webinar 2 or 3 months ago will also note that Henkel is also working with Albia on a similar solution. The Greenleaf HDPE tubes are recyclable wherever recycling collection schemes are in place and are recognised by a number of bodies that monitor and track recyclability, such as the Association of Plastic Recyclers. The toothpaste tubes can be converted into quality post-consumer HDPE resin to then be reused to make new plastic bottles. Nestlé has a global commitment to reduce its environmental footprint and has incorporated changes across their entire global product portfolio. Next on the list of many changes sees the elimination of plastic from outer packaging for its chocolate brand in Brazil. Nestlé has announced the introduction of a new version of the box that will soon be available without the external plastic film wrap, which is only there really as a barrier to improve shelf life. The elimination of the wrap is part of Nestlé Brazil's RE project, a set of initiatives to reduce, recreate, and rethink the key features of their operations to tackle recycling in the country. The change will prevent the use of more than 450 tonnes of plastic per year. Now, to ensure the maintenance of shelf life, because they're getting rid of the overwrap that improves that in shelf life, some of the individual chocolates have also had their packaging re-engineered, and they are now sealed in 100% recyclable wrap to ensure product quality. So they're reducing packaging in one area and increasing it in another, but the end result is a reduction in the overall impact of plastic in this situation. Next up is Madrid-based packaging company Coexpan, which is developing a 100% recycled polystyrene, or RPS, for form, fill, seal yogurt packaging applications. The development is seen as an important breakthrough in improving the circularity of polystyrene, a type of plastic that is not commonly recycled. Coexpan has successfully tested mechanically recycled polystyrene in its facilities that it operates alongside Emthor, the rigid and flexible packaging division of Madrid-based Grupo Lantero. The project involves proving post-consumer PS mechanically recycling using processes and technologies similar to those used for PET recycling. 2 types of RPS sheets were produced for the trials, and the results show high purity levels of the recycled material for both variants. So watch your space on that. 2 more to go. I think single-use disposable lids for items such as yogurt and cream generate a lot of plastic waste, and we've seen a handful of new initiatives that introduce dishwasher-safe reusable lids, as we've seen here with Austrian dairy company Salzburg Milk. The promotional reusable lids function well and are easy for customers to keep their dairy products fresh at home. The plan is that in the future, there will be no need for food tubs to come with its own disposable lid. Now, Saltsborough Milk worked with Grainer Packaging, whose brief was to create a reusable lid with a perfect fit, meaning the seal had to be secure to keep the food fresh. It also needed to be easy to clean. Grainer Packaging's multi-use lids are structurally stable, dishwasher safe, and maintain the integrity wash after wash. The lids are multi-use, so they can be used for other products, and they're made from polypropylene using injection moulding and decorated with an in-mould label. Last but not least, I think I said that this was the last one, but there's one after this. A new range of high-performance plastic-free materials has been launched as part of the Cygnus Real Board selection from UK developers Real Brands. The business's primary focus is on the development of sustainably based new materials, and credit to them, over the last 18 months, they've been very active developing various new materials, laminates and coatings. Their new alternative for PE laminated materials range is primarily designed to replace plastic-coated food packs with a much easier to recycle alternative. Real Brands collaborated with Swanline Group and developer of sustainable packaging materials SPP Labs to bring the new range of fibre-based barrier-coated boards to market. The whole range of Cygnus Real Board is certified plastic-free, is widely recyclable, repulpable, and a viable alternative for PE laminated materials. And it's obviously 100% biodegradable as well as compostable. It has high grease resistance and good water barrier properties, and it's ideal for frozen, chilled, and ambient products, pretty much the whole shooting match when it comes to food products. Last up is another biodegradable biomaterial packaging development. The Interreg Northwest European Cocoa project has several European partners that are collaborating on the project. The project's purpose is to colour bioplastics as well as conventional paper packaging with pigments based on a natural turmeric derived dye. Many dyes currently used for packaging are non-biodegradable, and some synthetic versions are also considered toxic. Maastricht University in the Netherlands has announced that their scientists are exploring new colour pigments based on the yellow natural dye from the tumeric root. The new biodegradable dyes previously developed often fall short in terms of quality standards. The process starts with the cultivation of the longer plant, and the development has shown that it is possible to improve UV stability to stop the colour fading too quickly, so really tackling that quality challenge. Other colours can also be generated, and the three primary colours when combined can obviously create a spectrum of different colourways. Cocoa is focusing on packaging applications, but also has potential for the production of textiles and cosmetics. Okay, so that was a rather whistle-stop tour of all the latest innovations. I'm now going to check what questions we have. Barry, are you on the line? If you're not, it's quite straightforward. Oh. Hi, Barry.
Hi. Just seen a couple of questions come through during the period. The first one was about I think it was the very first example, the graphene product that includes the graphene.
Yes.
What was the supplier of that and what was the particular product? But that'll all be supplied in the notes, won't it, that will come out afterwards?
Yeah, well, Tara, yeah, I mean, it will. And obviously, one of the benefits of subscribing, being a member of the Innovation Zone is you get that additional content as well. So I will make sure that I will add an extra note about the Torafine initiative as part of the outputs for this webinar.
Okay, and then there was a question regarding what do we think will be the sustainability trends in 2021 rather than 2020?
Well, we just feel that it's time for a review. So we're going through that process at the moment. We've nearly signed it off. There's been a heavy focus on reusability. Carbon footprint is increasing in impact. But we're still really in the process of signing off those. So watch this space for the announcement in January, where we'll be launching those 10 innovations into the market.
Another question come in about, should plastic be fully eliminated from packaging or recycling do the job? I think there's a statement I would make is I don't think plastic can be fully eliminated from packaging, and it will be about getting better ways of recycling and recovering, and it will come down to carbon footprint. And unfortunately, most of the alternatives to plastic have a much greater carbon footprint than plastic. So we have the issue of what is the most important sustainable issue going forward, and if we believe it's climate change and carbon, then we'll have to be very careful about the elimination of plastic. Would be my point, my personal point of view on that.
And I totally agree with you on that one, Barry.
I think that's it on the questions.
Okay. Thank you very much. So just another note to say that our Global Packaging Trends Compendium will be out next month. We have an early bird offer which runs out next Friday, the 18th of December, giving you a significant £250 off the selling price. So we'll have 500 market initiatives with visuals, analysis and comment, consumer insight. So we're doing some consumer research. We're also interviewing 16 key experts to get their views on the packaging trends going forward. So it really is a vital report that really keeps you up to speed with all the latest packaging innovations and trends. So next up, we've got, as I said at the beginning, we've got 5 or 6 webinars already booked in for 2021. The next one will be Thursday, the 4th of February. We'll be emailing details as part of the outputs for that. More info at the web address, which you can see below as well. And I would like to thank you all very much for your time. I think this is our last webinar broadcast of 2020. When we started in January, we didn't intend to do any webinars. So it's certainly interesting how things have changed. I would like to wish you a very nice seasonal break and look forward to seeing you all again in 2021, not only online, but hopefully some of you face to face. Thank you.